welcome to the Hollabbey Homestead. If you're new here, we are a homesteading channel documenting our journey of homesteading right from the beginning. Here we are in my garden, and this time last year, this whole archway would have been full. You wouldn't have been able to actually see out. It was full of beans and everything else I had planted here. Sadly, today it's a different story. This summer, actually, for some reason, the garden has basically failed. If you're new here and haven't caught up on our videos, we had a couple of really late frosts in the season, which killed my plants basically 2 times in a row, because after the first frost, I went and planted in more plants to replace the plants that had died in the frost, and then another frost came. So not having that much luck. The plan is, though, next year we're going to do raised beds, and that was always kind of the plan anyways. I just kind of wanted like one more year in my garden of like regular gardening, if that makes sense, or flat gardening before we took that step. And looking back, we should have just gone to the raised beds, because clearly there's a real soil problem back here. So anyways, I'll show you what we do have, and actually we'll cut to a weeding montage, because that's been the story of my life so far in this garden this year. We'll cut to that, and then I'll give you an update on what we actually do have and the little stuff that we do have going on in the garden. So here we go. So there is a bit of action over here on the bean front, and actually, like, we are getting some beans, but again, please look back to last summer's garden videos, because the difference between then and now is huge. And this may seem like a huge thing to a lot of people, and it's pretty underwhelming in my opinion. I am going to grab a basket and harvest what is available, and actually show you guys what our first harvest will look like basically at the end of July. Everything is incredibly delayed here. So these beans actually just showed up like a couple days ago, and just out of the blue. I didn't actually think we were going to get beans this year, because like usually you get beans like by the end of June at the latest, and here we are at the end of July and we're just getting something. So And these were supposed to be climbing beans, but they never climbed. It's like something stunted the whole garden, whether it be the climate or something in the land, or I don't know, maybe the seeds weren't good. It's a real mystery this year. So far, only 3 of all those bean plants actually had beans. This is all I got. Actually, that one's bad. I'm gonna have to pitch that one. End of July, 2021. That's all I got in this huge garden. So it's not really looking good for the tomatoes either. I did notice that we do have some action. First tomato. Guys, I don't want you to think I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm definitely not new to gardening. But I will tell you this, I have no idea what's happened to my garden, and it's very depressing. I put a lot of work into this garden and there's barely anything in it, so. But I'll still give you the updates on the garden just so everybody can remember how terrible this year was. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the camera to show you some things like up close. So the only bean that decided to climb this year is this beautiful red flowered bean. And it's kind of neat, but it's the only one that's doing anything. So on some tomatoes there is like green tomatoes that haven't finished growing yet, so it's a good sign. But most of the tomatoes, like these ones all through here, don't actually have anything. These don't have anything except for that plant there has 2 little tiny tomatoes. And these along here don't have anything. And we've had a lot of rain, which is hard on tomatoes. So this tomato started cat facing. And long story short, it's like when they get too much rain, they swell and they start splitting a little bit. They're totally fine to eat, they just don't look that good. And it wouldn't surprise me. Actually, that one hasn't cat faced. But something got into that one, so I'm just gonna pick that. This one hasn't cat faced, and it's a pretty good tomato, so I don't know, we'll keep an eye on that. There's a couple of medium-sized tomatoes there, and there's nothing there. So this time last year, this whole trellis was loaded with plants. We got nothing this year. I planted probably about 50 to 60 cucumber plants, double rowed, all along here. Right now there's like, well, a lot of them are stunted. There's only a few left, but they haven't really done anything. But there's only 1 or 2 that have actually like tried to climb, but they're really struggling. And again, I don't understand what's going on. Here, there's like a cucumber plant that I planted, you know, like back in the end of May, that's like this tall, and it's not getting any taller. There's one that started climbing here, but it wilted as if something attacked it. There you go. This is the first and only cucumber, and it's a bit squishy because it's young, that I got. So, I don't know. And there's another one here that's just like that. And the rest of these are just stunted. They're not doing anything. not so depressing note, my row of lettuces that I planted here actually seem to be doing quite well. Usually by this time of year, the lettuces have all died off because of the heat. And I guess that's the thing about this year, is that it's actually been quite cold. I mean, not like frost, but it's been cooler than like a normal summer. In fact, there's a lot of times that we leave our air conditioners off because it cools down in the evenings pretty nice, and during the day it doesn't get too hot other than the odd day. So that's probably why literally all the lettuces are doing really well. So I guess if you're into lettuce, this is your year, guys. And they're all healthy, nothing's even chewing on them compared to everything else. So I would say last year was the year of the cucumbers. This year it's the year of the lettuces. So these pepper plants literally aren't doing anything. They have produced, let's see if I can show you this one. They did produce a little tiny pepper there, and then this one, a little tiny one there, but they're not growing. There's two there, but they're actually not doing anything. Again, I don't know why this is happening. I planted things the way I normally do and fertilized the way I normally do, and everything is stunted. So something is enjoying the kale. So there's not much left of that, and something's been munching it pretty much since the beginning. So I got some herbs along there that are doing quite fairly, and the corn is actually okay right now, although I said in another video I don't actually have much luck with corn. It always looks good up until when it gets to be about this tall, and then I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. It's some sort of fungus or disease or something they have, and it's the same disease every year that they get, and it doesn't matter what I do, it never changes. But I call it purple disease. There's probably a proper name for it, but the stalks basically turn purple and red, and then they don't produce any corn at all. Every year I plant corn hoping it's gonna happen, and but then it never does. But anyways, keep positive, you never know. Just because the rest of the garden failed, this might be corn's biggest year yet for me. So this corn that I planted is and I can't think of the actual official name of it, but I call it the Indian gem corn, where each little kernel is a different color, and it's really pretty looking. So maybe that will break my bad luck with corn. So yeah, it is doing well. I'm not going to complain. Maybe it'll actually produce, maybe not, but it's worth trying. So end of July, and that's all I got, and this little tomato. So it's a bad year. I can't explain it. It's better than nothing. Hoping next year, using raised beds and bringing in soil, I know it'll be a lot of work, but I'm hoping that it'll actually be worth it. And I'm hoping that we can kind of control the plant's health situation a little bit better. And but anyways, that is the garden update. Sorry, it's not that great. Actually, if it was up to me, I wouldn't even tell you anything about my garden all summer because I've been so disappointed by it. But I'm sure if you guys, especially if you guys see my garden last year, y'all probably wondering what's going on in my garden this year. So sorry for the disappointment, guys.